I'm gonna have to put in a disclaimer here. I know my dad watches these videos because he's commented, you know I can see that speedometer, right? Dad, you might not want to watch any more videos. Alright guys, there she is. Yoshimura Alpha exhaust. Rapid Bike Evo ECU, tuned by Superbike Unlimited. Just picking this thing up. This is my absolute first ride. The dyno sheet looks very promising, very smooth curve. There is a decent amount of torque and horsepower gain right in the mid-range. I'll show you that here toward the end of the video and do an overlap so we can get a good comparison of the different phases we've went through and how we managed to get to it. So let's fire this thing up. Let her get warming up. See you, man. That was Alex I was talking to. He's locking the shop up. I got here right at closing. I came by earlier and actually talked to Freddie and went over everything with him and looked at the sheets and talked about what we can do. Engine braking wise, he said that he really didn't want to mess with that on the dyno, but because it doesn't act the same as it does on the highway. And I've got the software to play around with it on my laptop, so I'm going to dial that in myself without messing with the fuel maps, which is awesome. I like that Rapid Bike actually gives you the place to dial in the fuel map through the RPM range, and then you can go in and actually fix your engine braking. It's a separate chart according to what Freddie was telling me. Hopefully the software that I download and use is going to be identical to or similar to his. So alright, let's take this thing on its first ride. Here we go. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Throttle is very nice, very nice. It's like before where you had, if you other Z guys know, when you turn the throttle, it's a gradual, you know, where it seems like it's kicking up the RPMs a bit quicker. It's picking up when you go wide open throttle. It seems like it's responding better, I guess I should say. And I was telling the guys on the Cowie forums, they were talking about mods for the Ninjas that were upcoming, things like that. That our intent is not to go balls out on this bike, and just start with a nice, solid tune. So if any of you guys do the exhaust mods, air filter, things like that, you could drop this map in and get a much better throttle response out of your bike. Nice and easy. Alright, I'm going to take this thing down to the 4-lane where I've got wide open roads, and I'm going to see what she'll actually do pickup wise, going through the gears. We know how this bike handles. It handles really well, well balanced. Could stand to have better tires. That and probably sprocket kit is going to be my next mod. I think at this point, depending on you know, I'm gonna tweak the engine braking a little bit and you know, lighten that up. And then I think if we drop some weight on the sprocket and maybe go down, I'm not sure if I want to gear up or down on that. I think I want to go, I think I want to gear it down just a tiny bit. We'll see. Might drop a tube or add a tube on front or rear. I'll have to see what we can get. See what's available. This baby has got some freaking pickup now. That is, from that range 4 to about 7, she pulls. Oh, this thing's gonna be so much fun on the curvies. I'm gonna have to put in a disclaimer here. I know my dad watches these videos because he's commented, you know, I can see that speedometer, right? Dad, you might not want to watch any more videos. Just kidding, you know I'm not a dumbass. Here we go. Oh yeah. Yes, there is zero hesitation. Freddie, my man, you did pretty good. Shall we? Why, yes we shall. We'll get in here and compare all the sheets, talk about that. I'll catch you guys in a few. Okay guys, so there was my first ride and impression on the Rapid Bike system with the install and tune from Superbike Unlimited. I gotta say, I can definitely feel a difference. It's nothing that's overwhelming, but the throttle response, the smoothness of the engine, it is very noticeable now. When you crack the throttle, you can definitely feel the pickup. The torque is pretty much on cue as soon as you turn. There's no drop off. It's pretty much all the way through the power band now. I gotta say, Freddie did a really good job tuning it. It wasn't huge gains. We weren't really expecting it just from a fuel map. Like I said in the video, he really didn't do anything with the engine braking. He left that to me because the dyno doesn't give a good, accurate reading and feedback. And that's something that's more of a personal feel. So I'll be getting into the software and playing around with that in the next couple days. And once I get familiar with how the software ins and outs and all that work, I'll be sure to do a video on that so I can show you guys, for anyone else that goes with the Rapid Bike system, how to go in and adjust the engine brake. And he said it's really straightforward. It's basically a separate chart where you just do like plus 1, 2, 3, and basically that's it. It's really simple, he said. He was going to show me, but he had already packed his laptop and everything up. By the time I went to pick the bike up, I was a little late right at their closing time. So I'm sure if I have any problems, he'll be glad to show me and teach me. May need it, but he said it's pretty intuitive. So, but for anyone that purchases the Rapid Bike, the software comes with it. It's a download. You have to key in your serial number off the module itself for the download. And I'm going to put a link up for Freddie and the guys at Superbike Unlimited. I've had people asking if they would be able to get this package that I've installed on my bike through them. And I talked to Freddie about it, and for anyone that's interested, you can contact him at this email address, info@superbikeunlimited.com, and email him about if you want the Yoshimura exhaust and the Rapid Bike system. Make sure you mention my name, Tremonte, in your email if you're interested in buying this package from him. I've also given them permission that for anyone that does get a system to let them have the map. You guys are welcome to the custom map that they put in my bike. I'm not going to put it up on my website or anywhere else. It's specifically going to be for you guys through superbikeunlimited.com. Now, I'm not sponsored by them. I don't make anything from them. They're a really good group of guys to work with, and because of everything they've done for me as far as tuning the bike and pretty much being on cue anytime I've had a question or needed advice. I mean, he's been right on top of things. So, but yeah, he said he'd be willing to work with any of you guys that are interested in the components that we've put into this bike. You won't be able to find it directly on their website for now. They're in the process of rolling out a new site, so you do have to contact them at this email address down below. So let's get on to the dyno results. Let's bring this up right here. Okay, so you can see by this chart here, the red, that is our stock dyno. That's where we started out. Of course, the higher curve here, that is our horsepower. This going across, that's our torque. You can see the blue is the Yoshimura gain just from adding the exhaust. You can see that was very significant. What was that originally? Like 4.5 horsepower just from adding the exhaust. Now the gold or yellow line, that is the predetermined setting that Rapid Bike has put in their module specifically for the Kawasaki Z650, and also this exact module does work with the Ninja 650 and the Versys 650. So that's really, really cool. Now, I think the Versys will use a different exhaust than the Z or the Ninja, but that same module, so if you have the Ninja 650, Versys 650, or the Z650, all 2017 models, this Evo will work. The map that is in my bike should work also with yours. I thought that was really interesting and pretty nice. But you can see on the dyno, straight out of the box, really, really close. It lost a little bit on the top end compared to just the straight Yoshimura, but hey, that's an out of the box dyno. You look at the green line, this is after Superbike Unlimited got a hold of that. Now, if you notice, that line pretty much from start to peak is almost a perfectly smooth line. And the torque, you can see how much gain we had. And we gained from stock to the final, what, 3 foot-pounds of torque right at it, 2.5, 3 foot-pounds. But it's not necessarily the overall peak gains that's the important part. What he did was went in there and smoothed the on and off throttle response, something that won't directly be shown by this chart, but you can definitely feel it in the bike. And once I get the program loaded up and do the video on that, you'll actually see the chart and it'll make more sense. Just by looking at this dyno, you're like, okay, so yeah, we've got gains, and we got really good gains. I mean, look between where we started, the red, and where we finished, the green. And this is only part of the journey that I'm on with this bike, so we will be pushing this bar on up. Like I said earlier on the ride video, my next step's probably going to be doing sprocket chain kit, the 520 kit, and some new grips. Definitely want some better tires. And what that chain kit's going to do is reduce a lot of weight and gear it down, and you're going to see upwards of a 10% increase in the torque on this bike on the lower end. Now, I probably will lose a little bit of top end. That's normal for doing that kind of mod, but with the kind of roads around here, I don't need the top end. I want low to mid range. So I think the sprocket kit is going to be the way to go. And so I'm going to look into doing that, and also go with the guys at Superbike Unlimited. I'm going to talk to Freddie, get some recommendations, and if the outcome's good, you'll also be able to go through him and add that to your bike if you'd like. And I will be doing a dyno after that once it's complete. But there you go, guys. From stock exhaust to a basic fuel tune. There was no ignition timing messed with. This is just a straight fuel map that he put in. And you can see we gained all the way linearly across the power band. Very impressive. And you can definitely feel it, man. The throttle response is awesome. But I'd like to thank all you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy this information, and go get your kit and throw it on. You will not be disappointed. I'm extremely happy with it. Can't wait to go ride. I got hit again with bad weather today, but stick around for the next video. I got something really cool planned, hopefully over the weekend if the weather's nice. I think it'll be a little change up from the mod and tuning thing. I'm going to show you guys a little bit around here. Some cool stuff in the area. So stay tuned, guys, and ride safe.